Yo, what's up everybody? How are you all doing? In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how you can actually set up a work environment that is exactly how my work environment look and like just gonna answer all your questions you've been asking me from a few months, like how do you work so fast around your Linux terminal? How does your terminal look so cool? What do you use? What shell do you use? So let's start. So in today's setup, I have two VMs. It's my Kali VM that I use on a daily basis, and it's a fresh install of a Kali. Okay, so first of all, I will talk about the terminal I use. I use Alacrity. It's a GPU accelerated terminal, so take care of that. It can crash sometimes if you don't use GPU or some shit. So to install it, we can do sudo apt install Alacrity. I already have it installed on my system, so I can just run Alacrity, or gonna close this and open Alacrity by searching it up, and I'm gonna hit super up arrow. Super means basically Windows button, and gonna make the size bigger for you guys. Cross this out. So this is how default Alacrity looks like. And for another thing, how my Alacrity looks like this. This is actually a Tmux window. If I show you my default Alacrity, this is how my Alacrity looks like. So this is quite different, right? So how do I set up my Alacrity? So this is a blog post I found, and it include Alacrity themes. This is a tool that we can use, and we need to install it using npm, the JavaScript package manager. We need to run it using sudo, and I already have it installed here. So now we can just use Alacrity themes command to change our theme. But first of all, we need to uh, we need to run this command. So it will create an alacrity.toml file in .config here, so it won't show up any errors, right? So now we can do set, and here's a whole list of like themes you can select from. I'm gonna do dark side, I guess. There we go. So if I close this and open it up back again, now I have my theme similar to something I have here, right? Okay, so now next comes is my prompt. How does my prompt look like this? So the shell I use is bash. You can check bash here, same here. So why I don't use ZSH? Because I just love bash. I'm gonna stay the classic guy. So I actually use all my bash here. So you can just Google it up and go to this repo. It will include this curl command. You can just copy it and run it to your terminal, so you can install all my bash, and it will install it for you. And there we go. Now you can see my terminal looks quite like my actual terminal, right? Let me make it bigger. So there we go. I just have bold off here. The characters looks some bold here, right? So there's no issue in here. And what does next come? So should we just start on the like interesting stuff now? Let's start. So what is this? I can see my Trike, my VPN here. I can see a couple of windows. I can move for it. I see something is like grind. I see some symbol like alacrity here. So what is all this? So this is tmux, guys. Tmux is basically a terminal multiplexer you can use to like create multiple terminal windows, and each one of those have their own process, right? So you can easily manage that. And what I mean by that is, like, if I try to open the default terminal for Kali, and imagine oh god, let me make it bigger. So imagine I need to run, like, I'm setting up a netcat server, right? Netcat listener here, and I need to run a command before this. So what I usually would do is right click and split terminal vertically, and I'll run the command here. If I need to run one more command, I'll run it here. So like just basic stuff, right? So I need to resize them. I don't know what's that happening. So that's how usually we used to work, right? We can create like what do you say? How do we create a new window? Can we create a new window? I don't know, like Control Shift N. There we go. So we can create second terminal window like that, and just like that. But in case of Tmux, I don't need to do any of that. I can just pin up a single terminal, and I can have as many as, like, imagine this, imagine this, imagine, like, take as many as examples I want. I can split up as many times I want. I can shift between these in just single terminal window. And the best part about Tmux is, even if I accidentally close my terminal and I spin it up back again, I can check Tmux ls, and you see I have my window. I can run Tmux A for attach, T for target window, and I can name the window, and if I enter this, I'm back again. Nothing happens. All of my work is saved. So you guys want to learn how to do this. So, but first thing first, if Tmux is by default installed and it doesn't look anywhere like this by default. If I enter Tmux here, so this is how the default Tmux config looks like. So Tmux I'm gonna show you like basic Tmux commands. I'm not gonna like guide you through all of the commands like the Tmux mastery guide. No, I'm not gonna do any of that. I have Tmux, and also to get the Tmux look like me, I have my own config file. Like you can get it from GitHub, from my GitHub. I'll mention all these links in description of the chat, and here is an install.as such. You can just directly run the script and have the Tmux running. But let's first learn about how Tmux works. So Tmux requires a bind key that you need to press every time before running a Tmux command, right? So by default, Tmux have bind key set to Control B, and if I hit Control B and percentage sign, you see my terminal is separated in half, right? So this is how the basic like Tmux works. So I don't need to memorize these commands. So let's just first get out of here. I'll hit Control D to get out, and I'll copy the GitHub link to my repo, and I'll use git clone to clone it. It will just take a second, and I can cd into this, and it includes, let me do the long listing. So you see this is my Tmux config. It is very similar to when the 0day use, and shout out to 0day. I took this Tmux config from him and just modified and tweaked it a little bit to my needs. And this is one of my friends, Holmes Tmux config. He's an awesome guy. I love you, Holmes. And it's his updated one. So I regularly update this Tmux how I use, and this is just the VPN thing that shows the VPN here. So hold up. Yeah. So I got this install script that you can directly run, and it will set up everything for you. So if I run this, it will download requirements like Tmux. Let me give it the password for sudo. It will set up my Tmux config that I use. I use the 0day one. It's basic, just like basic stuff, but instead of above, it's down here. So it's done now, and if I close the terminal, okay, wait, and if I close the terminal and open the Alacrity again, make it bigger, and if I now enter into Tmux, I'll see my Tmux sweep config is updated, and it looks much nice than before. And this is very similar to what 0day uses and I use currently nowadays. So uh, let's learn how to use Tmux. So by default, I have changed so many commands of Tmux, like the bind key. Like before it was Control B, I shifted it to Control A. So now in my Tmux, if you hit Control A and minus sign, you will see it will separate the windows and horizontally, right? And if you hit Control A and the pipe symbol, it will separate the terminal vertically, right? And you can shift between terminal windows using the cursor, or you can press Alt right arrow, left arrow, up, down, right, left, just this way. And you see, we are at the index 0 and it's bash. We can change the name of the window like Control A and comma, and we can name it to like try hack me. And now it's try hack me, and we can even create a new window using Control A and C. Now we have another window that's indexed at 1, and this asterisk shows which windows we are using, like which window is active. So we can shift using our mouse cursor, or we can use shift and left arrow or right arrow to move between the windows. And to move between the terminal windows, I told you we can use Alt, down, right, left, right. So we can even control a comma and rename this to like VPN. And if I see I have TriAcme VPN here, we can do sudo open VPN and thm this command, and you'll see my VPN will be reflected here just in a bit. And there we go. We have our TriAcme VPN here. And by default, Kali even shows it up here. So what else I can show you how to like in Tmux. If you see, if I select this, and it will automatically copy this in my clipboard, right? If I select this, it will automatically copy it in my clipboard. How does this happen? So I need to have like I need to have installed sudo apt install xclip, and then it will automatically, you can check my tmux config. Actually, I'll show you. So I'll just explain a little bit. Like I'm unbinding the control B, the default key for like prefix key for tmux, and I'm setting it to globally to control A and all this stuff. And this is how a basic tmux config will look like. I can use this pipe symbol to separate the windows vertically, and I can use minus symbol to separate the windows horizontally. And this is the basic tmux config. I can, and if I do this and I need to like copy it in my clipboard, I can just directly select it, and here we go, it's copied in my clipboard. You can actually install sudo apt install xfce for clipman, and it's already installed in mine. I can directly run it, xfce for clipman, and now you will have this little clipboard up here, and you'll see all the content you copied up here. You can add it in bash rc, or you can just like make a daemon system service out of it, and so it will start automatically on boot up. So let's get back to tmux. Where were we? And you'll see the next thing is, imagine this windows, you can even resize these windows using the mouse, you know. My tmux config is pretty much good, so you can even like resize using your mouse and hitting on these, right? So we can even zoom out, like zoom in into a single window, like control A and Z, like the cursor. Like if I wanna like resize it to the full, like I can do this, control A and Z, control A and Z key. And there are some pretty tinkering stuff with tmux, like control A, and if I hit T, the letter T, I can see the time. And if I hit control A and Q, I can see the index numbers. My windows were divided first, like the how I switched panes, like the index basically 0, 1, 2. And take for example, I move back to my like main Kali, and this is my basic TriAcme setup I use to solve CTFs on TriAcme. And take example, now I have this window, like subscribe to my channel please. So I have this window set up here, right? These are 3 windows. Take example, I want to move this window to the right place. How would I do that? So to do that, to be able to do that, I'll need to hit Control A, and plus I need to like hit this curly bracket, the right curly bracket, to shift it to the right place, you know. And so if I do control A, shift and right curly bracket, you see it's on the right. If I do that again, it's in the below. Like it will rotate always till it's back to its original place, right? So that's how I can do like move windows around in tmux. And if I want to just like shift positions of all these 3 windows, you know, I just want to try how these would look like how can I arrange these. So I can just do control A and space key, control A and space. It will automatically show you some choices you have till it move back to its original place. So that was tmux basically, guys. I think that's enough for you to like you know, just like get a head start, you and you know, just start using tmux to be like more compatible with like multitasking, and you know, get that speed up on the keyboard, you know. So I think we are over with the tmux and how I set it up my bash. Now I'll move to show you some aliases I use, you know. Aliases like, let me make it bigger, like my IP. it will show my public IP, and it's not my public IP, or maybe it is. So never mind. It will show you how I connect to TryHackMe VPN, like TryHackMe. It will automatically connect to my TryHackMe VPN, right? And what else? I can use Dux. Dux is an alias I set up to like check which, like how much storage my directories are taking up, you know. And how about I'll show you this. Find file flag.txt. I can use this alias command find file to like just search for a file very quick. You see, here we go. So that's pretty handy stuff. I can use uplocal to set up a web server on my local host, like on my ETH0, like this IP. It will show up the IP, the directory starting the server on in, and on port 777. If I move to my Firefox and go to there, you'll see my Python server is ready. So I can start up a Python server on my 10.0 IP, but you see here I don't have my TryHackMe running up. So if I connect to the VPN and I split my windows in half, and now I run up 7777, you'll see my TryHackMe VPN here, and it started running on my TryHackMe VPN 10.847.242.7777. There we go. That's for up and up local. And let me clear this up. Some of the other aliases I have like alias like Tor-Jack. If I have Tor service running, it will just show me that congratulations, this browser is configured to use Tor. I have SafeNet. It will run Firefox using proxy chains. And what else do I have? I can show you guys actually. So I have this scripts directory where I have this VPN IP dot sh. It will be included in my wait. So if you go to tmux config and install.sh, it will automatically set up your scripts directory and copy this file from GitHub repo to here. So you get your all these things work, and these icons you're seeing before Kali, you know. So there we go. Wait, I have. Let me show it to you. So these are my aliases. I have cat alias, so I can show it to you using Vim. And I have black arc alias when I used to use arc. I have disk check. It will just basically spin up QDirstat. It's like GUI based, like disk uses. It will show you some useful stuff about your disk. I got hibernate. I got NC for NCAT. It's just arc stuff. So I got Nmap basic. This is a cool one. So if you just use Nmap basic, and if anybody of you guys didn't understand till now what is an alias in Bash is like a shortcut to a whole another command. So you can set up your own command, custom command like tryhackme to connect to the tryhackme VPN. Instead of running this whole command, you can just set up tryhackme to run this command for you, right? So Nmap basic, right? So if I run it against my own website and I hit enter, so what it does is it will make a directory called scans, and it will run the basic Nmap switches for version and default scripts and tecd for threads, and it will save the output into Nmap basic file. So that's just basic Nmap I do like in the starting of every CTF I do, you know. I set up this funny one, please do sudo. And this is a big brain thing here, SL to LS, because sometimes you just mistype LS to SL, and my still does work, so it's noisy for me. I set up up and up local. I showed you guys. I set up copy. Copy is a very cool one. So imagine I want to, I want to copy this whole content in my clipboard, right? So I can just do copy and the file name, and now I have the whole content of it in my terminal. No, in my clipboard, basically. There we go. So that's how copy works. Copy uses xclip and the selection and clipboard to the argument by passing it the file name. And I got installed to sudo apt install. I showed you my IP. It just makes a dig request to Cloudflare and shows us the public IP we have. We got TB. So take example like eco hoodie to TB. So, but I think the termbin.com is down nowadays, so I don't think it's gonna work. Oh, it's actually gonna work. So if you just copy this and move to the, so there we go. So we can actually just share some like stuff I need, like if you just need to share output of a file to your friend or something, you can just do it like that. Termbin.com and 9999. So that was handy. And other alias is RR. So if I just hold up. I got into Visual Mod. So if I go back there and I run alias, I cat that file, and where is it? RR. Where is the RR? There we go. So if I just copy this command and I run it in my bash, can you guess what it is? It's the basic my favorite rickroll. So it will rickroll you guys. And what? Why is it not working? Bro, why is it not working? Wait, let me spin up a new terminal and run it here. It's not even working here. What the F? Am I not connected to the internet? I'm connected to the internet. Never mind, but oh god, I wanna run it, bro. Don't do this to me. Bro, just run. What the F? Do I get into ZSH to... This is my bash that's not running. Never mind. Never mind, bro. Another time. Another time. So just run Rickroll. I used it in COD while playing King of the Hill, and these are pretty much the basic stuff. So if I go to documents, try hack me, and thm certs, and if I need to move, like if you didn't know, you can just cd and dot dot to move to the parent directory, like try hack me for thm certs. So and you can do cd and wait, the hyphen to move back to the like previous directory, and I have these three dots to move back three directories, and I don't have a directory here. If I do the code scripts, I have scripts here. So now I'm four directories in, and now if I do four dots, I will move back to my home directory. There we go. And you must have seen my ls output is colored. I'll show you. So you'll see my ls output is color, right? It's colory. But if you move back to the new version of like the basic fresh install, you see here it is not color. So I use exa. You can use sudo apt install eza. It's moved to eza. I already have it installed. Now exa-l, you see now the output is colored. So it's just a basic updated version of ls. So I've set up alias for these. I use sniff for tcp dump my try-me sometimes, and ports for seeing what ports are open right now in my basic like box. There are so fucking many. And I got find file. I showed you guys. I got edit bash to just edit bash rc, reload bash, reload zsh, and psg is a cool one. So if I just search for like, wait, clear, bro, psg alacrity or psg firefox, you see, it will just grab the processes from psaux output. And I got flush dns to just refresh your dns cache. I got update alias for sudo apt update and upgrading your system. URL encode is cool one, URL encode. And you can use hoodie hello, and if you just give space, it will automatically URL encode that output. And you can, if I copy the output into copy, it will copy the like in my clipboard, and I can URL decode it using this. There we go. It's pretty handy. I got GS for git status, common GitHub like aliases. I got SSH key for copying my. I don't have idrsa.pub. I have hoodie.pub. So to copy my public RSA to my clipboard, and I got chmod x to just like to make a file. Like if I do touch hoodie.txt to we used to do this, and I can just do chmod x without the plus sign. to give it the executable permissions. Just pretty handy stuff. I got J for John. This is a very cool one. So if I have a hash to crack, I used to type like hash.txt and then specify the word list, right? The full path. I can just now do J and hash.txt. It will automatically set the word list for me. So this, and I got fix for running this. And I used to have this in my arc, but it doesn't work in Kali for some reason. I don't know why. So if I just hit fix, it will automatically like set up the stabilize my reverse shell. So if I get a reverse shell on Netcat and I do like the basic reverse stabilization of a shell, I can do fix. I got SUID to check for SUIDs on my system. Just basic aliases I have. These were the aliases I have. I'll upload this alias on my GitHub. You can directly get that. I'll mention all these links in my description of the video. So, and for the nmap basic output, so it did the nmap. So if I check, we have a scans directory, and here is the nmap output stored. So that was the nmap command, right? Nmap basically.me. We can now remove these scans. And for I wanted to show you guys for tmux purposes, you can go to TryHackMe and search for tmux. This is a room by Zero Day, and it pretty much shows you every stuff you need to know about tmux. Like you can actually, it will also show you how to build your own tmux.conf file, and uh, it's pretty much all you need to know about tmux. You can learn from this room, and I pretty much explained it all. And now let's move back to the shortcuts or like the bash functions I use. Okay, so if I open up a new terminal and I hit grind on my keyboard and I hit enter, so you'll see it automatically set up my TryHackMe setup. It automatically connect me to the TryHackMe VPN, and it automatically this is my work environment. I just hit grind and enter, and this is the magic of tmux, guys. So uh, it's my tools like PSPy and LinPiece or LSE and opt for here are my Obsidian nodes. So this is the basic setup. So how am I doing this? How am I doing this? How am I doing all this stuff? So I'll show you just in a minute. Wait. So if we move back to the scripts directory, we have a bash functions here. So this is the grind function I have set up. So we named the tmux session to grind. It's just basic grind function. I'll mention all these in my GitHub, and you can just directly copy and paste so you can use them too. So I'll create a new tmux session and detach from the old one, named the session grind, and I rename the window to VPN, like the first oh, so if I'll show you in another terminal. If I hit grind, so the first window name is VPN, and the second window name is THM here, and the third window name is MISC, right? So in the first window, it send the key TryHackMe, so I can connect to my TryHackMe VPN here, and it's my alias. I didn't show you TryHackMe alias, so if I do alias TryHackMe, it will show up. I kill the OpenVPN session first, and then I connect to the OpenVPN. And if you're wondering how it is not prompting me for sudo password, because I have specified SUID bit to the OpenVPN. You see S, so it doesn't ask me for a sudo password. It's not safe. You can actually root my box just by because I have an SUID on OpenVPN. You can just set up a sudo permission on this file in etc sudoers file. So this was basic grind function. I also have mcd. It's just making a directory and cd into it directly. So if I just mcd and hoodie, it will create a hoodie directory and also cd me into that directory. So it was pretty handy. I got I got bash functions. I got Koth. When I used to play Koth, I used to have this Koth function that will set up my Koth environment for me. So if I show you guys, I run Koth and it will set up by TryHackMe VPN and the server or address already in use. It will like set up a Python server on my Koth binaries and it will open my nodes, but I don't have nodes right now on this system, and it will set up my basic two netcat listeners for reverse shells and the Koth into like cd into my Koth directory. I have all the nodes here. So there was that, and you can get these functions from my GitHub. I'll mention it at the end of the video, like in the description. And for my bash, I use several plugins too, I guess, for GitHub and all that stuff. And you actually need to specify these alias and bash functions. These alias and bash functions in at the end of your bash rc file. So you can just do if file exists here, then you can execute it from bash rc. You don't have to specify all the aliases in bash rc. You can just specify these files to just directly execute from bash rc as you log in into the system. As you just open the terminal, right? Sourcing the functions, I've done this wrong. So if I hit go down, I need to see if I specified this wrong. I need to enter bash functions here. So there we go. I can do reload bash. There we go. I can do edit bash to open the terminal, to open the bash RC in Nana and do all that stuff. And these were my bash functions. And now let's move back to the shortcuts I used to like move around, move fast around Linux terminal, right? So the shortcuts I use while solving CTFs and on a daily basis. So take example of a Hydra command, right? So this is the command I typed, and imagine I typed my username, like the username wrong, and I need to, or for some reason I need to move to the starting of the line. I would move like this, like hitting left arrow or control left arrow to pass a word. But how do I eventually, like in a single click move here? I'll press Control A, and I'm in front of the like line, and I press Control E, I'm in the end of the line. So these are two shortcuts that I use almost daily to this like move around, you know and if I like need to remove everything before cursor, I can press Control U. Or if I need to move everything after the cursor, I can press Control K, like Control K, right? And Control U to remove everything before cursor. So these are pretty handy, and I can actually like take example. I'm working with a long as output, and I need to save it even in a file. So if I curl robots.txt, so you see these, and I can directly pipe it into Vim and use Vim with a hyphen symbol so that it takes all the input buffer as a file, like as an input, right? It doesn't show any error. So if I hit enter now, you'll see it automatically like shows up in Vim, and I can directly save up or do some like run some Linux commands here, or like just save the file as robots.txt wq. And now if I see its file saved, and that's one of the like quickie easy peasy thing. What else? So if you didn't know this, it's a pretty like neat trick. If I do echo hoodie and I check history, you'll see it will show up this like I ran this command. But if I give a space before a command, like space, and now I run the command like hello YouTuber, hello YouTube. So if I do this, and now if I check history, it won't show up here because I gave a space before a command. So that's pretty neat. So but other shortcuts I use Alt Tab to switch between tabs, like Alt Tab, it's pretty handy. And I use like Control T for a new tab, Control W to close the current tab. I used shortcuts like Window and Enter, like Super Enter to open a terminal. And I've set up like you can actually set up these shortcuts and keyboard, like Firefox have Super app, like Super means window, and CoolRed like Burp Suite has Super B, Electrode has Control Alt T, which is default for Kali terminal. These are all the shortcuts and commands I use on my daily basis. So I hope you guys learned something new. I'll see you in the next video, and sub to my channel. Good luck.